Dear students, welcome back to my YouTube English channel, English with MALLICK sir. In the previous classes, we have very vividly discussed about the most important elements of English grammar, which is the backbone of our language and literature, English literature. In this segment, we are going to discuss about the idea in connection with what that is use of punctuation marks. And here we find this is part 30. My dear students, it is a very interesting factor that whenever we think about how to speak English properly and how to write English properly, it is therefore very essential factor for us to be very much conscious about the use of punctuation marks. Yes, punctuation marks are very, that is what we call key factors or major factors of discussion that should be discussed at this very stage, early stage, because the students can easily know how to punctuate their sentences while speaking and writing. For example, while speaking, we follow the principle of intonation. It means rising tone and falling tone. At that very moment, we pause and or stop somewhere in order to make our sentence meaningful before others. And hence, in similar manner, we also follow the use of the punctuation marks in order to express our feelings very clearly before others, either our listeners or readers. And hence, punctuation marks play very significant role both in spoken and written English. Yes, discussions are based on about a number of rules of grammar and examples side by side, clear explanation, and therefore it can be logically proved how and in which way we can use punctuation mark in our sentence construction, either spoken or in written English. Yes, now let's see how. Yes, come on. Use of punctuation marks. This is part 1 of the punctuation mark, and here in speech we pause here and there and change our tone to make the meaning of the words clear, to make the meaning of the words clear, to express the feelings properly and to express our feelings properly. Yes. Again, in writing factor, and it is here in speech and in writing, we put different signs or stops, that is what we call punctuation marks. And here, for the same purpose, these signs or stops are called punctuation marks. Am I clear? It is a very natural factor. Whenever we punctuate the sentences with the help of punctuation marks, these marks are very essential, and they are the signs or stops, what we call punctuation marks. Yes, these marks are crucial. Crucial means very important in academic and professional writings. In the sense, whenever in academic writing, that therefore in that is educational career, academic writings, we face a number of academic writing in junior and senior levels and even advanced levels of education side by side. After getting any engagement, we also apply the same factor in our professional writing. Yes, therefore I be writings because the reason is here because they clarify the meaning. Yes, they make the meaning clear. Yes, and guide the reader. Yes, the reader can easily understand what we are going to write, or yes, and again help in avoiding misinterpretation. Sometimes the readers also misinterpret our writings without the punctuation marks. Therefore, punctuation marks are very very essential for avoiding misconception or misunderstanding, that is called or misinterpretation. And here, like the road signs, it means here we find whenever we go somewhere, we find left and right side a number of signboards that guide us till our destination. We can find a number of signs that are very useful. Similarly, whenever we speak and write something in order to make us clear and reach our target, goal, what we are going to express, punctuation marks help us in that direction. In the sense, we should be very much careful in using the proper punctuation marks in proper places. Yes, mark when to slow down, speed up, and stop. These are the road signs. And similarly, punctuation marks also express or help us in expressing ourselves properly. Yes. Now come to the next idea. Following punctuation marks are used to divide one word from another, one phrase from another, and one clause from another, and one sentence from another sentence. Yes. So this is another very interesting idea, that how these are the punctuation, 10 punctuation marks. Usually these marks are followed at the time of our writing. Yes. And here we find this is, as you know, this is comma, and this mark is a comma, and this is what you call semicolon. It means how it is a dot is there over comma, and this is what you call super comma, semicolon, and again colon, double dots, and here full stop, one dot, and note of interrogation, as you know, or what we say question mark. And in other factor, note of exclamation, or in other words we say exclamatory mark, and another, that is apostrophe. Here we apostrophe, and therefore here we find the matter apostrophe, and again this is hyphen, and this is dash. It means which is longer than that of hyphen, and finally inverted commas, or in other words what we say quotation marks. Here we find double quote and single quote. We will discuss it later on. Therefore, here we find there are basically 10 punctuation marks which are frequently used in our writing sentences, and also at the time of speaking, though they are not marked, but they are used to in unseen manner. Yes. Use of comma, this is a very very important factor, because comma is mostly used in our writing. As a number of interesting items are there connected with the use of comma, then definitely this class has been divided into two parts. This is first part of the use of comma, and we will discuss in the next class the second part of the comma. Commas are used in different occasions. What are that occasion? To separate three or more words, or items of the same part of speech. For example, it is verb or noun or adjective or adverb, these are the content words, main words. Whenever we just or preposition, whatever the part of speech it may be, whenever we want to separate them, definitely we use comma. Then how? Listen, take interest in some examples. Definitely nouns. Whenever we take some nouns, just for example, cow, ox, goat, sheep, dog, and horse are domestic animals. Means whenever we want to express it in a sentence, definitely commas are used to after to separate these 8 items. And here before and we also use comma. This is interesting. Remember, whenever 2 items are there, Rajesh and Mahesh, no comma is used. But whenever 3, 4, 5, 6 items of the same part of speech are connected with the help of comma, then it means here we find before and comma is used. And I will dog and horse. Yes, this is the matter. Am I clear? Adjective. A smart white Indian horse was running in the field. You see here a smart white Indian horse. Here head noun, horse is the head noun, and here we have smart white Indian. 3 adjectives are attributively used, and therefore there is no comma. So whenever we use adjectives before head noun in a noun phrase, comma is not used, remember. But when we use attributively, predicatively in the predicate part to qualify the noun, in that case comma is used. There is an old wooden dining table. Another attributively, here attributively, another old wooden dining table. A table head noun. Here the entire noun phrase. I've been with an old wooden dining table. A table head noun. Here we have old wooden dining. 3 adjectives. 3 adjectives qualify table, and in this case, as these adjectives have been used attributively, in this case we don't use comma. Yes. Now come to the another example. My neighbor is polite. This is American English. NEIGH BOUR British English. Whenever has been dropped here, American English. My neighbor is polite, intelligent, and laborious. This is it. Here we find my neighbor is the head noun. My neighbor is the noun phrase, head noun neighbor, and my neighbor is polite. Here this is subject part, SP, and here we find is the predicate part, and here the adjectives polite, intelligent, and laborious have been used predicatively. Yes, to qualify whom? My neighbor. So here we find to qualify my neighbor. Therefore, whenever the adjectives are used predicatively, then comma is used. But commas are used, but whenever they are used attributively, they don't take commas. Yes. Now come the other idea. The room looked dirty. Again another, the room. You see here we find that head noun looked dirty. Looked how? Dirty, gloomy, and uncomfortable. Here we find another, here 3 adjectives: dirty, gloomy, and uncomfortable. All these qualify the room. The room looked how? You see, listen, dirty, gloomy, and uncomfortable. You see, here we find that how when a comma is also here. And here, look dirty, gloomy, and uncomfortable. Three adjectives are here, and they have been used predicatively, and therefore we have used here commas. Yes. And now come the another factor, that is adverbs. Mr. Mishra, whenever adverbs are also content words. Yes. And here we find Mr. Mishra does his homework carefully. You see, carefully adverb, I mean neatly and meticulously. Here we have three adverbs of manner, and yes, in this case commas are used. And meticulously, here we find and meticulously, neatly and meticulously. So the matter is clear that commas are used to whenever we use the words of same part of speech to separate three or more words or items of the same part of speech. Here, that is what we call noun, adjective, adverb. We can also use verb. Yes, remember, we have to remember that how commas are used to separate items, or that is what we call the words of the same part of speech. Comma is not used before and at the time of joining only two items. Yes, but I've already discussed. I have a cat, a dog, and here and is there. Therefore, here we don't use any comma here in this case. It means before and comma is not used. But whenever we use three items, 4, 5, then definitely comma is used before and. Yes. Now come the other idea, that is comma is not used to a noun phrase when adjectives are attributively, used attributively, but it can be used to before predicative adjectives, what we have already discussed. Yes. Now come another factor, that two separate phrases. Yes. Another, that is in the second item, we find that to separate phrases, we also use comma. Then how? As we know that phrase is a combination of closely related words expressing a meaning but not complete meaning. Yes, and we have discussed in the last previous classes in this connection. And yes, how? A team of players. This is noun phrase. Here we find a team of players to separate phrases. A team of players. And here comma. 2 umpires, right? And some workers. But here we don't use any comma. And some workers were in the field. Listen. Some workers were in the field. Here we have 3 noun phrases, and therefore here we find a team of players, a noun. So you see, this is a noun phrase. 2 umpires, a noun. This is noun phrase, and here some workers, a noun. This is also a noun phrase. Here 3 noun phrases are connected with the and whenever the last 2 are connected with the and, here no comma is used. Now come another factor, to separate clauses and additional information. When the light went out, remember here to separate clauses. Here phrases, here clauses. When the light went out, it is a subordinate clause. and we went to bed. This is main clause or principal clause. Yes. So when the light went out, we went to bed. A comma is used because we stopped there. If you labor sincerely, again, if you labor sincerely, comma, here we find you can get a good result, natural, because result in any action depends upon sincere labor. Therefore, this is true. If you labor sincerely, this is what we call the subordinating clause, and here you can get a good result. This is the main clause, and both the clauses are separated with the help of comma. Yes. Now come Einstein. Einstein, who discovered the theory of relativity, failed his university entrance examinations. Very interesting idea. Such a great world famous scientist also failed in his university entrance examination. But he was not a bad student. He was a good student, brilliant student, and hence here we find Einstein, who discovered the theory of relativity. Einstein, MC, part 1, and it is and failed his university entrance examination, MC, part 2, and here we find who discovered the theory of relativity. Here subordinate clause and a relative clause. And here we find we have also discussed these matters in clause section. Yes, here we have, this is a complex sentence. We have two clauses, one main clause, another subordinate clause, and the subordinate clause is in between the main clause. This is what we call non-defining relative clause. Yes, once again, non-defining relative clause. And here we find that Einstein failed his university examination, main clause, who discovered the theory of relativity, subordinate clause, and whenever we give extra information, this is what extra informating relative clause. It means here we find the information, more information about Einstein. Yes, and therefore this is non-defining or extra informating relative clause. Yes, and this clause is separated with the help of comma. Yes, and in order to give extra or additional meaning. Am I clear? Yes, this is the idea. Now come Rahul got up early. Yes, Rahul got up early. MC, main clause. Had his bath, MC, main clause. Took his breakfast, MC, and went to school, MC. Remember here, we find four independent clauses are connected with the help of the connector or linker or conjunction and in this case we find the comma. It means clauses are separated with the help of commas or a comma. Yes, depend here. 4. Rahul got up early. Rahul had his bath. Rahul took his breakfast. Rahul went to school. And whenever we join all these four clauses, we find this compound sentence. This is a compound sentence, and therefore commas are used to separate clauses in order to express our feelings or thoughts in proper manner. Yes. Well, now come the next idea. What we find, that is what we call to separate a direct speech. Yes, at the time of separating a direct speech, we also take the help of comma. How? Listen, he said, here we find the matter, he said, comma, he said, comma, what are you doing? Yes, here we find that a comma is used to I've been here, that is what we call comma, in the sense whenever we use direct speech. This is direct speech, yes, direct speech, and a comma separates. This is subject part, the speaker, said is the reporting verb. After reporting verb, comma is used. Yes, you see, this is the way. Amit told me, comma, here we find, let's have a picnic next week. This is the direct speech and the direct speech, and here we find the speaker and repeating verb. After that, Amit told me, let's have a picnic. This is imperative sentence expressing suggestion of going a picnic. Yes, in between we find also a comma. This is very natural. But here we find the matter without comma, the sentence will be wrong. And because here there is a pause, and for that sake we have to use comma. Now come to separate each pair of words connected by and. Yes, come. This is very natural. And whenever rich and poor, you see, rich and poor, high and low, rich and poor, each pair of words connected by and. Yes, in this case, we also use comma to make them separated. How? Yes, rich and poor. Here, rich adjective, poor adjective, and is the coordinator. Rich and poor, a pair of words. High and rich and poor, high and low. Again, wise and foolish should be. Here, three pairs of words should be treated equally, This is a democratic policy, that equal treatment, because naturally everybody wants to be praised by the society, and therefore it is very natural to respect everybody. Therefore, then only we can enjoy a happy, peaceful, democratic living in society. Yes, next come another idea. Therefore, after each pair of words, comma is used. Here we have three pairs of words, and comma, two commas are used. Yes, come. Now, to separate a tag question. Remember, tag question is used whenever we want to draw the attention of our listener towards us. Tag question is used. Yes, in that case, this is what we say, we use also comma is used. Let's go to the park. Let's go to the park. It is a suggestion of somebody. Let's go. So here we find the matter that shall we is the tag question, and we will discuss it in a subsequent classes whenever it will be discussed, and the tag question will be discussed clearly. But here we find that this is a tag question. Shall we tag question? Or what do you say? Question tag. Because it has been tagged with the sentence, that is, let's go to the park, imperative sentence, which is in imperative mood, and shall we is the matter. It means shall we, it means we are drawing the attention of the listener about our dialogue or speech. Let's our proposal. This is a proposal or suggestion. Let's go to the park. Shall we? Yes. Shall we? Yes. You see, listen, we have to take the help of comma. I am a doctor. If we separate it, then comma is changed into full stop. And whenever we use tag question, the full stop is converted into comma. This is the nature of tag question. Tag question must be preceded with the help of a comma. And here, I am a doctor. Yes. Aren't I? if we say aren't I, it is wrong. It will be also discussed in separate class. But here we find that aren't I is the tag question, and here comma. I am a doctor. I mean, if we say so, then full stop. But whenever we add question tag, the full stop is converted into comma. Yes. And another, to separate a noun phrase. To separate a noun phrase, I mean here in the noun phrase in opposition to a noun. So, in opposition to a noun, Rajesh, my elder brother. Yes, Rajesh, who is Rajesh? He is my elder brother, has been to America. So, Rajesh, my elder brother. My elder brother is a noun phrase which is the opposition to Rajesh. Similarly, here we find John Keats. John Keats is the name of a famous poet of nature. Yes, and the lover of beauty, Robert Beauty. In here we find this is what we call opposition, and it qualifies whom? John Keats. John Keats, the lover of beauty. It means John Keats, who is a lover of beauty. In short, opposition. This is what we call the noun phrase, and it qualifies the noun. John Keats died in prime of his life, died early, which was unfortunate. Listen, because you see, listen here, we find that he's famous. I've been saying that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. This is world famous line, observer. It means the more we see the beauty, the more we can enjoy, and it has no ending. This is the beauty of nature, and through that beauty we can find the presence of God. Yes. And here we find Napoleon Bonaparte, a great general of France. A great general of France. It is also here we find that is opposition to a noun. That noun is Napoleon. And here we find commas in both the sides. Napoleon, comma, a great general of France, comma, was a man of fortune. Was a man of fortune. Naturally, Napoleon, as we know, is called the son of French Revolution. It means after French Revolution of 1789, how Napoleon took the chance of the weakness of the Republic of France and ruled over France as a dictator or king. And yes, and for a period of a decade, he enjoyed a decade and a half, and finally how he was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo. Yes, such a great general. And here we find Napoleon, a great general of France, was a man of fortune. Yes, because fortune. You see, there is a very good saying that fortune favors the brave. It means the brave persons are really fortunated persons. And yes, we should be brave. And here we find the same. Napoleon, here comma, general of France, here comma, and man of fortune. That was his brother. His brother, here the noun phrase, and Amit. That was his brother Amit. So Amit is here the opposition to his brother. Amit is none other than his brother. So you see, listen here, we find in this, these are the ways how we can express our thoughts or feelings in a very complete or perfect manner before our readers or listeners at the time of speaking and writing properly with using the help of commas. any suitable places. Yes, as there are a number of other very interesting items related with the comma, definitely in the coming segment, coming section, we will discuss about all this. And today, with this, I am going to conclude this section, and I hope you must have enjoyed this session. My dear students, I have been telling you again and again to read the matter, to understand the rules of grammar, to understand the examples I have given and the way of explanation what I am doing, so that you can enjoy it and use it at the time of speaking and writing properly. Thank you for being with me. See you in the next class. Bye.